we're gonna start off on the New Hell's Paradise, episode 8. It's called Student and Master. And just like Bass said earlier, there's going to be a break next week for whatever reason. I haven't seen the reasoning, but we're assuming Mappa's just on fire over there. So, but yeah, to sum it up, Tenza and Nuragai are trying to find a current to get off the island when another strange Tenzin shows up. As they run away, they bump into Tenza's master, Shion. And this is the episode started off with like a backstory of Tenza, and we don't see many episodes of shows start off with like a flashback style going on. Were you like aware of who the little blonde kid was at first?
I didn't put it together for a while. But once we ran into Shion, I was like, okay, that has to be him because that's his master, and it was his master in the flashback. But yeah, I had no idea it was Tenza for like the first maybe 5 minutes of the show. I had no idea.
You figured it out before I did because I didn't realize that it was Tenza until they actually came back to the present. So I had no idea who it was even, back when Shion showed up. So.
Oh damn. Yeah, it was it was it was it was a little confusing, but it was cool to see that. Not knowing who it was, I was like, how's this gonna play into the story? But it gave us great context for the whole episode. I thought it was a nice touch by the end of the episode, but yeah, like you said, like I was a little confused to start.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder like when flashbacks like this happen, what's really gonna happen when they start off opening up the show. And right away after we come back, we see that Nuragai and Tenza they actually got approached by a new Tenzin on the beach. We haven't seen this one before, and she or he or whatever it is.
I don't know. I don't think it's a human with like a gender. I think it's just a thing, a monster.
Well, whatever it is, it looks badder than the two that we've seen so far.
Oh,
it looks like it's fixing to screw some shit up. So
and it did. It did. I really thought it was like a cool design with the hair, like how it like almost looked like fire with like the orange, red, and yellow like streaks in its hair. I also thought it was funny. It was a little different than the first two Tenzin we saw that were like a little bit more emotional. We also caught them in a compromising position, which may have caused that emotional state out of those two. But this one was really calm, even while fighting. Not really showing much emotion, being really surgical with how it was approaching. Tenza and what's the girl's name, Nuraga.
Yeah.
So it was cool to see like a different mood out of them. But this one's obviously was still unkillable. They didn't take any damage on the beach, I don't think, or much damage, but they got away, at least for a little bit. And we saw that cutting off their head, even though they do heal, that really slowed down how quickly they heal, which I thought was really awesome. That was a good little plot point right there.
I think that it also helped that not only did Tenza cut off its head, he actually cut off like I think all of its arms and legs plus its head at the same time because dude is slick with the sword.
Oh,
he's
yeah,
pretty fast.
Yeah, he was quick with it. It was mentioned a few times throughout this episode. I thought it was like mad creepy to see how the Tenzin's eyes healed when he cut it across the face the first time. It was so nasty looking because like we had seen him like get cut like in half, like vertically, like down through the shoulder to the other side of the abdomen. And like that wasn't that bad to me, but like something about seeing the face come together and like the emotionlessness, it was eerie to me. Like I couldn't imagine like fighting somebody and that happens. I'd be like, yo, I'm out. I'm running. I can't win.
And another thing, like obviously our boy Tenza and Nuragai run away, because they figured, that's the whole point of like chopping off their heads and stuff to buy some time when they run away. And we say that they bought time, but we're talking like 30 seconds
Yeah.
instead of instantly. Um they bought like 30 seconds of time, and then the new Tenzin just appears out of nowhere in front of them, just um I don't even know the word to use, like uh does some kind of move where they just like a spirit gun or something and blast him away, with air.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I don't
It
even
was
know
it.
what you would call that.
No, me
So
either.
it's
I
hard to
understand why you
describe
were at
it.
a loss of words there. But yeah, it was like some kind of spirit gun thing. Not trying to take anything from Yu Yu Hakusho, but like I'm it just like makes me wonder, like, how do you actually defeat these things? How they're gonna do this in the end, other than like just sealing them in something. I don't know if they have like sealing ninjutsu like in Naruto. Um, but these things pose a really big threat to like what everybody's trying to do here. And we've seen 3 out of the maybe 12 Tencent. So like if they start jumping people, it's a wrap.
And the even scarier thing is Tenza is, like we said, very fast with his swords, and he tried to go crazy on her again, and she's just like, or it's just like, I've adapted. Those won't work on me no more, and that's scary because it's untouchable now.
Yeah, it learned really, really quickly.
Yeah, he can't even like hit now, and that's when I think Shion comes in at that moment, right? And
Yeah.
like,
And he does a beheading and he's like, hey, you always have to take off the head. I was like, hey,
little,
that's what we do best over the Yamada clan. We
little
take them
does he
heads off.
know, Tens has already tried to take off the head before, and
Hmm.
it doesn't work like that. Shion.
Yeah, so I mean, they get the dipping again. It's nothing to do but run when you're up against something like that. The things are mad strong. That like little finger gun air pistol thing that it does was putting holes in our boy as they actually got the scrapping when they caught up to the trio now with Shion, Nurugai, and Tenza. But I really loved the flashback for this reason. It really built that bond between Shion and Nurugai. Because he did, Tenza did fall in this episode. Um, but he went out in a blaze of glory. I thought it was really cool what he did. He kind of like sacrificed himself for the rest of the crew there. Um, Even with like he had like 7 holes in him and was still boxing. My
Yeah.
man's got heart. He didn't have a throat at that time, but he had a lot of heart. Um,
And the man, since the sword wouldn't work on this creature, he dropped it and just started like pulling up with his fist
Yo, I
and
thought
just
that was
like
so cool.
pulverized, I guess if it was a normal human being, the head would have been mush, but it didn't stay mush for long.
No, he was breaking that thing up. I wouldn't want to get into the to ring with old buddy. Uh,
So did you like expect Tenza to be killed in this episode, and like as fast as he was?
so obviously at the beginning I didn't, but once that Tenson like put like the 4 holes in him and he couldn't even like talk anymore, and he was like bleeding, I figured he was gonna die.
Yeah.
Because like, how do
So
you come back from that?
so so the thing is like we've seen all these flashbacks and stuff, and that's a little bit of shadowing.
Hmm.
But when Shion showed up as the third, I knew someone was gonna die. Me personally, I thought it was Shion. I thought Shion was gonna find a way to sacrifice himself, and he was trying to. But Tenza just wouldn't let that happen. And you give a man, his sensei coming back and flashbacks and someone to that he's trying to protect, the man's dying.
Oh, it
So
was a wrap. Yeah, once you
yeah.
put all that together, you know how it go.
Yeah.
Especially in anime, you get a flashback. You start
it's
thinking about home too much. It's you gone. Like it's
it's it's
it.
classic shonen, bro.
They
We're
packing
here.
you up. I was really hoping that Shion was going to be the person to die. I really like Tenza as a character. I thought he added a lot of humor. to the show. He's like just really dumb but really skilled, and I thought that was a cool character to have. But he's going away, obviously. But Shion, he brings something a little bit different to the show as well. He's like just like an old wise man. Also cool because he's blind. He just goes off sound and feeling. And even Narugai was like, hey, how is he moving around? Like, how is he actually helping us? And Tenzin explains it. But yeah, it's unfortunate Homeboy had to die, but the
He's
writing
like
was
a
on the
boy
wall.
in One Piece.
Who you talking about?
Uh, the admiral, that we seen back in uh
Yeah.
whatever the Doflamingo arc. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I don't know his name, but I know who
I
you're
think
talking about.
was
Yeah,
it? It ain't Alkaiji, is it? No, that's the old fire dude, ain't
I'm looking it up right now.
it?
Isho.
Isho.
Yeah.
Is
I
he
didn't
got
know
a
his name. I
name
literally
besides
typed
that?
in Purple Admiral One Piece.
Oh yeah.
Isho, also known as Fugitora.
Yeah, Fugitora. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's who. Like as soon as I seen that, like that's who he reminded me of. But Fukutora, um, he became blind for other reasons, I believe, and our boy Shion probably got his in the battle and stuff. So yeah,
Well, I'm thinking maybe it was punishment because he has like the one straight scar across his forehead and then it's two vertical lines down into his eyes. I thought that was more like probably somebody slashed his eyes
you
as
think so?
punishment.
Okay,
I think so. It didn't. It looked like too clean and uniform to be like a battle,
okay.
as if that makes sense. So I was thinking maybe it's punishment, and that's why he's an old wise man now. He's learned from his heinous ways as a young man or a young samurai.
Wonder if we're gonna get like a backstory of him.
Oh, we
You know?
gotta. I
Yeah.
want more. Because he seemed like a really cool dude. He pulled Tens off the streets and kind of showed him the way, give him a life to live. Really, taught him the sword.
Yeah. It was pretty neat to see their relationship and stuff. And we also learned that that wasn't his first junior. Um, he actually had other ones that went down the same path as Tenza did, but he didn't come back from it. Like Tenza did. He actually ended up, having to execute his other junior, which
That's
was,
that was sad, man.
yeah, it was pretty messed up. So,
Yeah,
um,
and I think
but
that was a good way to like show like how rule abiding Shion is because like you said, yeah, like his former junior left the clan, went back out to the streets, committed a crime, and he had to execute him. And then one thing, and he even wanted to execute Narugai, um, while they were trying to like escape from the Tenzin, and he didn't understand why Tenza was protecting him. But he kind of made a deal. He's like, hey, as long as you don't, she doesn't do anything bad, and she's not really that bad of a person. She hasn't committed any like real crime. But he says the times we live in dictate what is a crime. And I thought that was a crazy quote, because it's really true. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Um, weed's becoming more legal here in the United States, and 50 years ago, or really even 20 years ago, still in South Carolina, my home state, you go to jail for any amount of it. You have a criminal record. But in places like Colorado, you can go to a store and buy it. Up north in the Northeast, you can. And it's just like I loved how messed up that was in the situation, but also really, really true. But it seems like he doesn't do much thinking for himself when it comes to his responsibilities because he's just said, we're the blade of the law, but we don't determine what the law is.
yeah. And another thing I really loved that they did was that they pieced together something that Shion told Tensa, and I forget what the saying was, but he was like basically uh follow the rules, whatever, do your best, and then one day you'll have something to protect. And that's why I think that's one of the reasons why he backed down from Tenza and Nuragai, because um he sensed that Tenza finally found something to protect uh in Nuragai. Now, whether that was uh love or just like a fatherly figure type relationship. We won't know. But I think that's I thought that was pretty neat. So
Yeah. I thought it was kind of crazy. Like, Naru guy was like, "Hey, you're freaking awesome. I'm gonna marry you." And he's like, "Wait, hold on. I don't even know you." But then, like, in like when his life was flashing before his eyes when he's fighting the Tencent, there's like a scene of them getting married in it. So I thought it was odd, but I was like, okay, like so you were interested, my guy.
yeah, and which is kind of like taboo, because
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure our boy is um you would think he's over 18, and but we're not really sure of how old he is, but he's definitely older. And I would say that our girl neuro guy is like probably like what 12, 13.
yeah. I think this is like set in the Edo period, and that wasn't like completely off out of the realm of possibility during that time. Because I mean, even my grandparents on my mother's side, they got married when they were 14 and 12. You know, we
Yeah.
down here in the South, old school stuff. People get used to get married at a lot younger age. So I was thinking maybe he was like older teens and it like wasn't like way out of the way for that to be a possibility. But it was crazy how they built that kind of relationship so quickly and that bond was so strong already.
It's tragic that our boy had to be sacrificed though. I still think it probably should have been Shion, but yeah.
Yeah, same here. One thing I did want to touch on, I thought was pretty important. The Tenson said the victims have to be alive to go in that hole and get turned into Tan. So we won't. I don't think we'll see a lot of the Tenson go for straight up kills. And I think that's one way, like in the end, a lot of the characters can get out of getting absolutely decimated by the Tenson. At least to the ninja show up, they might get a little bit more ruthless once a lot of high skilled characters come into play. But I thought that was really interesting. I thought that was a good point that they pointed that out because why aren't the Tenson just murking these people? And that's what I have been thinking the last couple episodes here.
Yeah, and that also gives uh the viewers hope, because now we know that they're have a reason for not going all out, because if they wanted to, like if that Tenzin would have wanted to, they could have killed Tenza and Nurgai like in 5 seconds flat, honestly.
Oh yeah, could have
And
just went for the head.
yeah, and I think that's if anybody's able to defeat one, that is what's going to be the downfall. So I think,
Yeah, I agree with that. It's giving our characters some outs here, which I'm glad they established that side of the plot. But this was, unless we have anything else, this was like the first episode, full episode without Gabimara and crew.
yeah.
Did you enjoy like the change of pace here? Was this a fun episode for you?
Well, even though it didn't have our boy and girl Gabby and Sagiri, uh, this was like action nonstop, pretty much action the whole time, and I really enjoyed that. So, uh, but as we don't really get a whole lot of that in this anime, it's usually like quick action scenes with reaction shots. It seems like most of the time. So,
Yeah, I thought it was a good change of pace. It was a more
yeah,
very solemn episode, but still really, really good.
yeah.
Yeah. It was one of my more favorite episodes of this so far, and that is saying a lot because I do think pretty highly of Hell's Paradise. And I'm very sad that we're not gonna get an episode next week, bro. Sucks, but give the animators some rest. I'm sure they deserve it.
Yeah, I say probably next week is probably gonna be um a turning point in the series, I would say, and they probably need some extra time to animate it. I would think. I'm hoping anyway. So yeah,
Cool, cool. Ready to get to the next?
hell yeah, let's go.
Let's ride.